Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special Winners and Losers episode. My name's Riccardo. I am very excited to go ahead and have you tune in to a pretty interesting episode. We have our friend Nick Rosser back, just hanging out here with some special guests here. We'll go ahead and discuss the previous U.S. Open Cup round for the Northern Colorado Hailstorm. And of course, our special guests, they're going to be able to talk about their USL League One team and this awesome clash that is going to go ahead and happen on Wednesday. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on all our friends here and introduce us. How's it going, everyone?
Good. How you doing, man?
No, Rich,
Good.
mute. I'm doing great.
Well, everyone, you guys know Nick here is going to go ahead and discuss with us the Northern Colorado Hailstorm side. I know that we have a pretty big matchup coming up here in the U.S. Open Cup between NoCal Hailstorm and Union Omaha. Guys, excitement, anxiety, how are we feeling? I'll go ahead and start with you, Nick.
I'm feeling good. I want to go up against the reigning USL 1 champs. And I want to see what we're made of after having two, shocking upsets in the Open Cup. Magic of the Cup beating our very rowdy, kind of annoying rivals down south, Colorado Springs, and beating those Joseph Smith worshipers over there in Utah, RSL. So it was nice. Felt good.
Yeah, likewise. Definitely, we got to go ahead and experience that match against the Switchbacks here. Definitely super cold, windy. We were there for the whole 120 minutes, and that goal came so late, man. And I mean, you guys had to go ahead and wait for penalty kicks. Don't want to go ahead and spoil much about that, but so I'm sure you guys know a little bit about hanging on tight. But I want to go ahead and bring it over to you, Rich. How are you feeling about this game coming up on Wednesday? Thanks for joining. This is everyone's first collab. Everyone, just want to go ahead and say pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is going to be a very fun matchup. So, especially after the performance that Hailstorms put up in the past couple of rounds, I think Wednesday is going to be a very fun evening. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Wednesdays should be pretty intense here. Ben, how are you feeling going into it?
I'm feeling great. I lived in Colorado for 6.5 years. My wife has family in Windsor, so I've felt affectionate toward the club. Big Ethan Vanacore Decker fan. So I've been affectionate toward the club since its existence. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. And while I don't love that all of the teams that could be drawn against USL opposition were, I am excited that at least one team from League One will make it to the round of 16.
So you're a little bit excited that it's a Colorado team. Are you rooting a little bit? Is there a piece of your heart?
No. I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's not the Rapids. That would have been complicated emotionally. But speaking of complicated emotionally, how did it feel to beat Pablo while he was coaching RSL?
For me, it felt good. It felt pretty good. I mean, now that he is over at the Rivals, I mean, over at Rio Tinto, going over there, beating him at his home. Yeah, there's some affection and, ex-Rapids legend, but it should feel good. Should never not feel good. Now, the big question is if the Rapids can get it done. So that's been going around for a while. Nick, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I feel good about beating Pablo. I mean, we just retired his number for the Rapids, but yeah, it just feels good because RSL are scum to me. So watching them lose to even now my League One team, even more local than the Rapids could ever be. It's incredible. So yeah, I liked watching Pablo tear up at the end.
Man, Nick's coming in hot tonight.
Hey, it's a conflicting thing. I just don't know. And then so our beloved coach Jay Mims has all this history with RSL. Makes it. I don't know. I just try and ignore it. That's my number one goal.
Well, Chente is over there right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, so is Joel DeLass.
Yeah.
We have
two big club guys. So Joel DeLass is one of our previous assistant coaches, and Chente is club legend and former team equipment manager.
Yeah, kid guy.
Chip, you're gonna have to tell us how you're feeling for the game this Wednesday.
Fuck Colorado. That's how I'm feeling. No, so I love Colorado. I would always go out there as a kid. We'd always go down to the Springs as a kid for holidays. Been up there before it was the cool thing to do, and I'm really excited that there's a team in Colorado for me to hate now. I have a lot of room for hate in my heart, and I'm glad that you guys have a special corner in it now.
That's about right.
I will
Yeah,
say
we're-
we don't have any home games, so I guess you're kind of lucky that you can watch the game. I'd love to have you come.
Yeah, you guys are like the League One Washington Generals, except for sometimes you guys win. But no, I think it should be a lot of fun. And speaking of our friends from Utah, if you have Hulu, you should check out Under the Banner of Heaven. Great show, especially if you like true crime stuff.
I'm there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
It's a good book too.
Great book.
So tell us a little bit about that Chicago match. That was very exciting. I got a chance to watch it on ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
Chip,
for
I'll let
sure.
you go first, man.
Yeah, for sure. So it was a fun match. So it's a shame that there weren't more people in attendance. I think Rich sitting up in the press box with that big brain and big notepad of his asked, and they said there was about 400 tickets sold and 100 distributed on day of. I'd say probably about 100 Omaha fans if you include friends and family and people that flew out. So it's a good crowd. Rich and I came in. The Chicago fans were great. We all met up together, had a couple beers, took the bus down to the stadium, and it was an exciting game. It was definitely frustrating as an Omaha fan watching the game because we're playing an MLS team, and it seemed like they got chance after chance with the PKs. So they had 2 PKs to score their 2 goals. And especially after that second PK, I will fully admit that I was a doubting Thomas. Someone needs some gas X. But anyways, so I was a doubting Thomas. And after they scored that second goal, I was like, it's over. It's over. It's sheets. I was getting ready, and I was sitting with Dalton Knutson, who's one of our center backs dads. And he's like, have faith in them. Have faith. Have faith. It's like, okay, you're right. You're right. And then we scored that absolute stunner, I think in the second or third minute of stoppage time at the second period of added extra time. And, it was crazy. Everyone was hugging, everyone was screaming, everyone was yelling. And so we moved over by the goals.
As you do when there's no one there.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally no one there. And we're sitting there, we're watching, and spoiler alert, Union Omaha won. And it was crazy. So we were yelling. The Chicago fans right next to us, they were yelling some stuff over at us. So naturally, we had to return fire because that's what gentlemen do. And ultimately, it resulted in us being kettled by the Chicago PD, which was ultimately really funny because my ride back to the bar was like trying to I felt like a dog in the pound. They're like, "Hey, that's mine. Can I have him?" And their response was, "Well, you can wait for him out in the parking lot." And it's like, well, whoa, hold on a second here. Let's maybe be a little bit more selective with our word choice here because I don't think that's what you want to be encouraging. But ultimately, they were good sports about it. I think they were a bit bitter about some of the Omaha players' celebration, which we learned later was because there was some heckling happening, and which is kind of like, well, I don't know. If you don't want to get birds from players, maybe don't say anything to them.
You don't want to get shushed. Yeah. Don't talk and lose.
Yeah.
Well, right. It's like kind of the talk shit, get hit kind of thing. It's like, well, no one's going to talk shit to you if you don't say anything. But it's super exciting. They were great fans. It was fun hanging out with them. And it was really funny. In the pregame, I was definitely talking to them about moral victories. And I was like, well, if we lose 2-0, that's a moral victory, especially if the second goals and the 75th minute, that it went from that to we're going to win the whole damn thing. Let's go. Really quick. And it was exciting. It's I know that Ben and has talked about this on Who Gives a Hoot, which is a podcast he's on and Rich writes for, but I don't know if it's quite the biggest victory in Union Omaha history, but it's definitely in the top 5. I mean, if you're a NoCo fan, you have 3 victories, so it's definitely a top 3 victory for you guys. But for us, I would say it's probably, I think winning the cup's probably the biggest one, just because
Has to be.
you win a star. I think, it's probably like that. Winning the regulars, it's probably that, the Chicago game, winning the regular season, and then making the finals.
That Richmond game.
Yeah.
The free kick goal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most, we played 3 home games and won them all to win the league. And that was the most exciting moment of all of them, because we trampled Tucson 6-1 and then scored in the first 5 minutes against Greenville, and were like never let off the gas. So, that was like the one moment where there was like that catharsis that happens in soccer when you go from maybe not winning to winning. And so, that one has to be up there.
For sure. And I was at a wedding for that one. And I was, so I don't think I've told the story publicly yet, but I was actually like doing the speech when they scored the goal. I just like feel a buzz in my pocket. I'm like, this is either going to be really good or really bad. I just need to get through like the next 2 minutes and I can look and see what happens. So I get done, you do the cheers, you give everyone a hug. And I'm just like looking at my wife, like being like, she has to score. And she's just like, I was like,
you did great, buddy.
Tell me what happened. And she's like, oh, I left my phone in the hotel room. I have no clue. And it's like, but then we ended up scoring, and so it was pretty exciting. But no, it's been exciting. I think NoCo seems to be on a similar trajectory of Omaha, where there's a lot of really good stuff happening. And so I'm really happy, 1, because of the proximity, and 2, because I feel like everyone I've dealt with at NoCo, from the ownership to the front office to the supporters to the fans, have all been really great. And I'm glad that you guys get to join us on this journey.
Yeah, I'm going to be real with you. I was jumping for joy and screaming when you guys tied that game up against Chicago. Like, I want the MLS to be good, but I'm also a traditionalist as a soccer fan. So I'm like, open the damn game up, but at the same time, make sure it's financially stable first. All that jive and stuff. But man, I just love watching MLS teams lose to teams from the USL. It just feels so sweet.
Just watching Chicago Fire fans melt down online.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been meaning
they're funny too.
Well, so Rich, maybe you can answer this. I'm gonna need a minute to pull it up, but it seems like there's like a Chicago Fire meme when you guys do badly.
There's plenty of those out there.
Here we go. Reading.
Rich is a Chicago Fire fan. For our followers at home that don't know him.
Yeah, fair enough.
By the way, I got one there. I got one there. Yeah.
Wow. Loyal Chicago Fire fan since 1901, and I have finally given up. This will be the last game I ever support this team. My family and I had a party tonight, and now we're embarrassed in front of company. All caps. My kids are crying because dad is crying. Enough is enough. I am done. Done, all caps.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It seems like I read it like 5 times in the comments, because the day after we won was just reading all these spicy comments from upset Chicago Fire fans.
You have to.
Yeah, no, that's the best part. In fact, that's probably the biggest loss of us facing off against each other, is there'll be a lot more probably good game, and a lot less like, well, you guys are just a small club, and like we started our 3rd string players, which
I can't promise that.
So that the goal that tied against Chicago Fire in extra time right before PKs, I had the final stats and final messages that I was ready to send off to the editor, and I was ready to hit enter and tell him that Chicago Fire won the match. They beat Union Omaha. They're moving on in the Open Cup. And then that goal scored, and I just held my finger on the backspace button and just started right over.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I got a question for you guys. Why was there 9 minutes of stoppage time in your game?
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah, I was watching with my wife, who attended a handful of Colorado Rapids games with me back in the day, and we were rooting against the Real Salt Lake for obvious reasons, and it came up and was like, what did we miss? What happened?
I know we had a little bit of a celebration that maybe it was a bit long, but I
Celebration.
I was
plus
pretty
numbers
dumbfounded
in that
too
minute.
because we've been getting these crazy stoppage times. That was 9. I'm pretty sure the switchbacks was an unreal. Let me find it. I'm just
It was pretty
Well, the
long.
switch-
It was pretty long
8
too.
plus
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they
Oh,
had me
man.
sweating the whole time, and I couldn't even I couldn't tell you why, because I was like, the red card was in the first half in the first game, and then
hmm
this Real Salt Lake, I was like, we barely have any yellows. The play's not really being dead. No one's really injured, so I'm like, I was so confused.
Well, I know
Yeah.
I had like a tweet ready to go, so you can kind of see my. This is bad radio for those of you listening to the audio version, but I'm sitting in my office at home and my TV is in the background. So I was sitting in my chair here watching that game, and I have like the tweet ready to go and press send. I put it in drafts because it's like, man, this is taking for fucking ever. So I just was doing something else till it came up because I was like, holy crap! Because it's crazy. We have 4 League One teams out of 11 that have made the round of 32. And honestly, if it hadn't been for like Tucson
And
shit
we're a
in the
new
bed,
franchise.
well, right, you guys are
Nice.
brand new. I mean, you've
More cup wins than league wins.
yeah.
Is that a chant, Chip? Workshop this.
No, that's not that's so for you guys. We had a chant last year about Madison about them having more kits than wins, which is a great chant. You guys can use it too. But I don't think more cup wins than kits. More cup hits than league wins is a good one. It's good that you have a lot of cup wins.
If not, okay, so somebody from our match is going to make it through. Who's more likely from the other 2 games to make it through?
Richmond.
Tormenta or whoever else?
Oh yeah, so Tormenta plays Inter Miami at Inter Miami, and then Richmond hosts Charlotte FC at Richmond for everyone playing at home.
Yeah, okay. And there's one NISA team, right? Cal United.
Yeah, they're playing.
Let's look it up. I got a computer, guys.
They don't
Don't worry about
count. They don't count.
But they do count because there's money on the line.
That is true, but
And it doesn't go by league; it goes by
vision on the thing.
division, which means we also have Jamie Vardy killed the Rhinos FC to contend with.
They're out.
Oh, Rochester.
They're out.
I
They
thought
lost
so.
to FC Motown. I thought they beat FC Motown.
Oh, they.
I think they won in
Shit.
pens or something.
Yeah, you're right. Shit, I thought.
Yeah, MLS Next Pro.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Rochester, California United, NoCo, Richmond Kickers, South Georgia Tormenta, and us. Those are the 6 competing for $25,000.
Bum, bum, bum.
We're getting in that Champions League.
Yeah. I think the winner of our match has a great shot to win that money.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Well, I mean, if we kind of look at them, we have
The Independents will probably lose, like the other ones, this round. Yeah, I don't
So-
imagine Rochester winning.
yeah, NYCFC has Rochester at home.
All right, I don't see them. They barely beat an amateur side.
Yeah.
And then Cal United Strikers hosts LA Galaxy at I think they play where
They do.
no, they're the
No, they play where Orange County SC play. That's what you're trying to say, right?
well, I thought they were in this shows how little I know, I suppose. I thought they were up in like San Jose. I didn't realize they played where OCSC played.
They do. They play in that like beautiful park in Irvine.
Yeah, that no one yeah. So yeah, I mean that'll be a fun game. But yeah,
And then-
again, I think the winner of the game between all of us is probably the team that walks away with the money.
Maybe Richmond.
Well, we know. I'll look this up too.
Well, this is the only one without a MLS team on the other end, which obviously I think we're all hoping for cup sets.
Well, the game's
Yeah.
on the 11th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Wikipedia's got it wrong. So,
It was
But-
first announced on the 10th, and I was confused.
yeah.
Yeah, mine's showing the 10th
No,
as well.
we won't know. We won't know for sure because the Cal United Strikers FC
Mhm.
game will be on after ours. So we will not know if it's a money-winning game
Mhm.
until later that evening.
Regardless, even if two teams advance, it's probably a pool split unless
Oh.
one takes it to extra time. Or no, it's not
Yeah,
even
my
extra time. It's
understanding is
PKs.
it's like pretty granular like that, right? Like,
Mhm.
you know, if two teams made it to the next round and one of them made it to extra time, that team would win.
Well, the team that didn't make it to extra time. Or yes. Because
Yeah.
extra time is considered a tie technically. Technically, Omaha tied Chicago.
I don't care. They went home.
Yeah, and
You know,
that's
this guy, he's crying. The kids are crying because dad is crying.
right. We're in the next round. They're not. So, call it a tie all you want. But no, it's been an exciting round. I don't think a lot of people really expected League One teams to go this far, which is crazy because I'd say ultimately League One is probably down this year quality wise versus last year.
I would agree.
I feel confident our team last year could have made a legit run at the cup.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
Like-
I had a project where I tracked transfers, and we had 40 transfers out to USLC and like 20 transfers out to other leagues in like Europe and everything else. So this league just like bled talent, and yet we still have 4 teams in the round of 32.
Well, and I just want to throw in a plug for my other podcast. We interviewed Union Omaha head coach Jay Mims on Thursday, and we talked with him about, what it means to expand the talent pool at this level so dramatically, right? And we added 400 player spots in third division soccer in the last month, year with MLS Next. And so, there's going to be a little bit of watering down at this level too. And we sent our 40 best players up to other teams.
And that podcast is Who Gives a Hoot?
Yeah, I meant to say that, but
There it is.
I didn't finish my point. Thanks, Chip. Always looking out.
Always got that plug. Always got that plug, guys.
You can
Yeah, no.
find that anywhere that podcasts are.
Yeah, all podcasting apps. But no, it's and I think again, it's a super exciting time, especially for Colorado to come into the league. I think they've really made a statement in their signings in the offseason about what they want it to be this year. And I think in the Open Cup, they've also like shown again, like we aren't. I can cuss here, I think, right?
Sure.
You already have.
Yeah, fair. We're not. This isn't a Detroit City FC game. I think you guys have said like we're not fucking around. Like we're trying to win the cup this year. We want to win, and I think they've shown that a lot with the people they brought in and what they're doing in the Open Cup. And I think again, between them and Omaha, it's probably with them in Greenville, it's probably like the 3 franchises in League One that are probably like the most interested in being successful. Ultimately, I'd say. Is that fair? Would you say?
Without a doubt. I think when we had the opportunity to go ahead and speak with Coach Iman Zayed, there was the beginning of the season. He kept reiterating the point that they wanted to go ahead and, start the season off really fast. And with the acquisitions that I thought they made for their team, they kept coming out as a surprise. They were holding off on player announcements, and it seemed like they were announcing them 1 or 2 of them a week here, keeping us kind of on the loop a little bit. But in terms of expectations for the tournament, I know that now that we kind of, in a way, chewed more than we probably could have, handled. I mean, taking down one of the top teams in Colorado with the, Colorado Switchbacks, and then taking it over to an MLS side. I think now there's a lot of confidence acting as rocket fuel for some of these players' mentality to go ahead and continue forward. And I don't know how much it showed at the Salt Lake game, but definitely in the Switchback games, with all that time being added. And it was mostly because of our players' passion and all of those nippy tackles, time wasting, even our bench getting the yellow card, our coaching staff getting the yellow card. It's like you can kind of see, that feeling when you're so close to winning it. Everyone's on the edge of the box, on the edge of their bench and then not trying to hop onto the field. It was just kind of like that. And I feel like this is what's driving this Hailstorm team, just kind of this idea that they keep punching really hard and then they might win this tournament. Because in the league, it's not so hot. I mean, their recent performance, not so hot. So
we need some home games. We need some. We need
That's
to
one of the
give
things
some
we lack.
confidence to our boys.
Well, I have good news for you guys. This is also not a home game for Union Omaha this week.
True. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we're going to. Who hosts this stadium usually?
Uno.
Yeah, University of Nebraska Omaha
Okay.
gutted their football program, axed their wrestling program, went to D1, and turned their football field into their historic football stadium into an incredible soccer field.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it's a
But
FIFA.
our home, our fortress, will sit empty the night of the game. So
Yeah. I want to
No, it will.
turn it back to
It will.
Nick and
Chip, it will.
Rick.
Chip, go look at my most recent tweet.
Oh, I don't think I want to, but
No.
Oh.
All it is a link to the high school baseball schedule, of which there
Oh.
are no games at Werner Park.
well, I thought it was a field flip issue because it takes them 2 days, right? 2 days to flip on, regardless,
2
whatever.
days on, 1 day off.
Well, in
1 day back to baseball.
in fairness, I don't think they can host at Warner anyways because of the dimensions. I think we're short. Like,
No, we're gonna when we win this game. No offense to our new friends from Colorado.
friends is
field
a
was-
strong word.
you know, I can edit that.
The field was in a pool.
The next date we already have a home game. We'll play the next round at Werner Park if we advance.
It's going to be juicy. I'm not going to lie. There's every game so far in the cup for us has had some kind of either minor controversy or just some kind of drama with the last round, all that added time. In the
Yeah.
first game, I do have to go ahead and tell you guys, Nick and I were watching,
Lay it on us.
you know, eye level with the playing field here. And there was the red card incident where this whole fiasco occurred. But the referee, Nick pointed this out. He noticed it. A referee, there's no VAR in this competition. So, was running over to the side official closest to where the accident happened to discuss it. While meanwhile, the other official across the field has literally like a 20 by 20, 40 by 40 screen replay of what's going on over and over and over for us fans to see. And then, of course, after what seemed like 5 minutes, the referee decides, you know what, maybe I'm going to go talk to the other official. Where, of course,
Just had plenty of time to rewatch it.
and then the red card happening after that. Man, I've never seen Nick that upset. He can tell you definitely a little bit more how he was feeling about that. But
It was a red, but she wasn't gonna give the red.
Mhm.
Like unless the dude wasn't looking up at the screen the whole time. I was like, there is no VAR. I was like, what are they doing here?
There's no
It's
VAR,
like
but there's
the
a big ass
2006
screen right
World
there.
Cup final.
And they
Yeah.
replayed the tackle and everything. I was like, they're looking up. I'm looking at heads, looking up, and I'm like, oh my god, they're watching it.
Well, I think is that a Big Ten rule or is that a Big East rule where they're not supposed to show the replay during the ref review on the big screen?
Yeah, no, I've been to maybe not quite as many Creighton games as you, but a lot over the last 10 years, and I've never once seen something dramatic get replayed.
Right, because normally it's like, we're just not going
Great
to.
basketball.
We're going to show an ad.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to show like
we
a
wouldn't want to
hyper-
rile you nice folks from Nebraska up.
Right, wouldn't want someone to rip their sweater vest.
So Nick, here we go. When you guys played the Switchbacks in the preseason, you guys lost 7-2. And then when you see that early red card against the Switchbacks again, I mean, it was what it was in the 27th minute.
Mhm.
What was going through you guys' heads?
Well, first I just want to. I was one of the only 2 people allowed in attendance for Hailstorm fans to go watch that scrimmage, and it was 1-1 at half, and then we put in 8 trialists at the second half,
Yeah.
and then that made it look so bad. So I was ready for a game, but seeing the red card in the 27th minute, I thought we were gonna see like a 4-0 repeat, something similar, because Switchbacks are very strong this year. thankfully, we didn't see Mishi that night or Haji Berry, so I was feeling confident. We did see Mishi in the scrimmage, and he was deadly. He was scary.
Well,
But
they benched 3 of their starters that night, didn't they?
yeah, it was very surprising
Their
because we got to go talk with their supporters group, with their president and coach. They had a meeting, and the supporters group were just kind of laying into them questions about how the coach improved the squad, how are they going to play this year. It's like big expectations, and then just knowing that they benched those 3 players and then seeing the fan reaction after the game when we won is they're just disappointed in what they saw. They were like, this is the same old switchbacks that have been going on every year, and we're sick of losing in these cup competitions. So I was like, yeah, it was very interesting to see why they didn't kind of take it as seriously. I know they have a long USL championship season ahead, and they have a good enough team to first or second in the West. So I don't know why they were pushing or benching their players 3 games in the season.
Well, you
So.
kind of alluded to this earlier in the podcast. You were saying that it got pretty chippy. Yeah, there were 10 yellow cards and 2 red cards by the end of like when it was all said and done. So once you guys, kicked it into gear, yeah, they started realizing, oh, you guys mean business.
And there was a huge gap, I think, between the first red card, which the first red card I didn't think led up to previous challenges occurring. It just seemed kind of spontaneous, just random. It just
Yeah.
randomly happened. And then I felt like it had to wait until deep in the second half until it really got a sense of chippy tackles, maybe some of the players just being tired and arriving late. Because initially, right off the bat, and this was to close out the first half, switchbacks were just pinging the ball 1-2 touches, being able to get it out wide, because it looked like tactically the Hailstorm were really trying to play compact, low defensive ball and just letting service go out wide for the crosses. And that's where I think switchbacks just continued to try to do these crosses, getting out wide, which didn't work. In a sense, it looked like it just wasn't their night. Like nothing they kept trying would go in, although they had all these chances. And then just the substitution of spacing the name here, the forward for Hailstorm coming in, just holding up play. Lachlan, I think, just threw a huge curveball for the switchbacks as their center backs were pressing really high, being able to go ahead and possess around in their half. That's what it looked like when they had full of energy. But again, I think just the Hailstorm, the way they just held it tight for the whole game and just clear the balls, not really take chances in the attack, use whatever counter-attacking numbers. Just the introduction of Lachlan. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah.
Lachlan McLean.
He continued to go ahead and make those runs behind and hold up play. And then from there, I think just time wasting you see nowadays. Players stay down. Couple good saves from the goalkeepers from switchbacks. I thought we had a few chances. There was a moment where I thought we probably could have gotten a second one as well. And then after the game, the Hailstorm players walked over to the corner to us, all 11 of us, if that, maybe 8 or 11, hanging in that corner. And you could just see it off of their faces. A lot of them just pure sweating hard. They just put in a full shift, just a smile. Like, this is a big accomplishment. Some of them had that kind of like, wow, we just won feeling, like this means what's next. And I'm not sure what that felt like at the Salt Lake game, where that definitely had more volume than going against switchbacks. But Nick did get the opportunity to go ahead and see them in preseason. And of course, getting clapped 7-2, having played our trialists for a little bit. As soon as that red card happened, like, it's fair to say that I was a little bit thinking like, oh, this is going to be a bombardment, like what to expect. And it just didn't go in the net.
Well,
To go off your point, I could tell the game was about to be super chippy in the Open Cup just from that preseason where you got Rob Cornwall already getting shoving matches 5 minutes in with Mishi and another player, and then that happened maybe 4 or 5 times. There were very hard tackles. That's why I think a lot of the trialists got a little more time in the second half, because it was brutal. And I think toward the end of the game, like, we were putting in some hard tackles, being down so many goals in that game. You could just tell like the fireworks were going to happen this next game. So I wish people could have known.
And Colorado Springs, they scored on you guys in the first minute. Luckily, it was an offside call, but I think from that moment on, you guys kind of flipped a switch in you and said, we're not going to let this happen anymore. And that's when you guys started throwing the body around a little more and you really put them on notice. I mean, that was your first professional match as a club. And
Yeah.
you were able to pull that off. And that was pretty cool because, I mean, the Switchbacks were undefeated in USL Championship entering that match. And so not only were you able to come out as this brand new club, but you were able to take down a championship side who was undefeated leading up to this match. So I mean, that was an awesome moment for you guys. And Rico, speaking of Lachlan McLean, he was
TikTok
actually
star Lachlan McLean,
what's that?
aspiring TikTok star Lachlan McLean.
Oh, yeah.
Almost to a million. He's almost to a million.
Is he really? I was gonna say
Yeah.
one of the co-hosts of Who Gives a Hoot. I'm blanking on her name right now.
Camille.
Camille Bassett. That was her comment when he went to NOCO. He's like, "Oh yeah, probably going out there to do some TikTok dances."
Well, not only did he provide the assist in the second round match, but he also provided the assist to Cornwall in the third round.
I mean, he's all league player, right? Like,
Yeah.
Actually,
he's all league one.
I actually checked with the Open Cup people in charge of it, and from the Storm Chaser supporters group just to get a statistical, and they actually said he had no touch there.
Oh, he didn't?
Zero
Oh.
assists, and so I've had to tell the staff of NOCO multiple times to please fix this. Like I don't want to be the bad news guy, but I like accuracy and statistics. So
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So it was close, but he did end up. He does have our most assists on the year as well for the whole season.
He's a solid player.
Nick is part of the Storm Chasers supporters group, guys, and although this is a pretty new organization here, and we've already achieved some pretty extraordinary things so far in cup games, Nick has been really, I think, really helpful and took that leadership role to go ahead and communicate as much information about the club. But I'm sure, as you guys know, communication between the supporters group and the club, or any communication out of the club, it's very difficult here. So do want to go ahead and point out, pretty fortunate to go ahead and get the opportunity to record with our team's head coaches. That's always exciting here for both Omaha and for Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC. Want to go ahead and bring it back a little bit to this game that's coming up here. NOCO not doing so hot towards other USL teams here, but there's a little bit of magic here in the cup. I know you guys are very, very passionate about Omaha here, winning here.
Opinionated.
I do want to go ahead and ask you, and I'll ask Nick's side as well. What about Northern Colorado Hailstorm FC are you looking out for? I know we talked about Lachlan McLean, what a player he is, but is there any things off the top of the head that might raise some eyebrows for you or some worries?
Yeah, I'll take this one. Recent results notwithstanding, in the cup, you guys have given up 0 goals, and we've scored goals in every game except one that we've played this year. But I don't know if the trust is there that we're going to be consistently scoring goals yet. I think if you've listened and paid attention to all at the league, like we've had a lot of roster turnover. I think it was something like 40 of our 43 goals from last year moved on, like just something insane like that. It's not quite that high, but it's nuts. And so, we have a whole new attacking lineup, and we're relying on a whole bunch of players to put the ball in the net that we don't know super well yet. And you were mentioning, you guys, your team had done a great job of shutting down crosses from the wing, which is, that's our move. We've led the league in crosses every year of our existence. And we've had a player who's led the league in crosses every year. So, like crossing the ball in it's our thing. And so, and you guys have center backs of note, and have, again, recent results notwithstanding, pretty good defensive prowess. So, yeah, I think that would be an area of concern for me. Rich or Chip, do you guys have other areas?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think.
say.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
Yep.
Rich. You
My 6-year-old would say, Jinx!
Jinx.
So,
Super into it right now.
I mean, you guys have some very dangerous players. I mean, Irvin Para, I mean, Cornwall, Arthur Rogers, Ethan Decker when he's healthy. Um, I mean, Stefan Lukic. I mean, you guys have some good players front to back. Uh, it's it's not terribly surprising that you guys are able to perform the way you guys are because you guys do have quality players. I mean, even in goal, I mean, you guys have two goalkeepers. Let me find their names here real quick. Olsen and Fondes. Fondes started your very first two competitive matches. He started in the U.S. Open Cup, and then he started against Richmond, and he performed well for your club. And then you guys threw in Olsen, and he's he's filled the. I mean, he's minded the net very well for you guys too. So, I mean, there's a depth of talent that is at Northern Colorado, and I think that's definitely putting you guys on the radar, and should rightfully scare other teams that are going to be playing them.
Nick, did you mention this? Is this one of the most expensive teams in the league? Were you guys aware with that, the Northern Colorado Hailstorm? I heard a conversation on that.
Yeah, I can't remember who I heard it from. I think it was someone in the USL show or something. They told me that we have one of the more expensive assembled teams in the USL League One. And that's what gave me a little bit of reason that the Kotovsky brothers and Brian Spielborgs are going to go for it this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard similar things, but not from primary sources.
We'll also have the most expensive season tickets, so
yeah,
there's that.
I will go on record. I will go on record and say, from what I understand, Madison and NoCo are the two spendiest teams in the league by quite a wide margin. And Madison has been one of the spendiest teams in the league for their entire existence.
Well, it ain't Omaha, that's for sure.
Oh no,
Omaha's middle of the pack every single year. They're like they're like 5, 6, 7.
To reiterate about the game, though, what I really want NoCo to focus on when going into Omaha is we've led in every single match we've played in so far. We have had a lead in every match. And what's frustrating is we'll get our goal within the first 15, maybe not these Open Cup matches, but especially against the USL 1 teams, we'll get our goal in the first, I'd say 15 minutes of a match, and then we somehow just blow the lead. And then it's kind of like a shift in momentum always I see with other teams. So I feel like if we'll always come out on fire, we'll get our shots. We probably could bury a team in first 15 if we could put away our chances. I'm speaking to you a little bit, Irvin. I know you're going to get most of our goals, but I know you could get more. I trust you. But we could bury more chances, and I want to see it. I want to see how Eamon's going to put in Lachlan with Irvin as well, because Lachlan's been coming off the bench as of recently to, play after Par. Par is probably going to be our main guy all season, but I want to see both of them go at it, because I feel like when Lachlan plays, he makes a difference on the field. And,
I agree. Lachlan's a playmaker. If you can put him on the field and have him play alongside Para, I mean, you guys. I mean, that's a combination that could be very, very deadly. So you guys are kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of situation, because in every single one of your league matches, you've scored in the first half, but in every single one of your U.S. Open Cup matches, you score in the second half. And I'll also say this: you've only scored one goal in every match. Can you guys score 2 goals?
We don't need more than that.
Well, we got in the cup. We got 2 against North Carolina. We managed a late one there for our first.
Well,
one,
and so speaking of having the lead and giving it up, our most recent game against Charlotte as well was the first time in 50 matches that we've had a lead and lost.
Wow.
Yeah. like I mean, that's an insane statistic in its own right, and I forget off the top of my head what the draw stats are, but it's like yeah. So we're smarting as a team. So I don't know. I think we'll come out. Hey, we too come out with a fury in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and so this could be a real MMA style punch counter punch approach to chances in the first 15 minutes of this game.
Well, going off of what you had to say, Rich, about only scoring one goal here on the U.S. Open Cup, the scenarios have been a little bit different where we're kind of chasing those games, and I feel like asking to deliver more than one goal. With the switchbacks, it just seemed like a ratio kind of thing. I mean, for 42 shots that they had, whatever, one of us has to have a shot. Just mathematically, it's going to work out. And likewise, it felt like with Salt Lake, they are definitely going to go ahead and have their chances. If they can't capitalize on that, maybe a little bit of that luck for Hailstorm, that one chance they get, they fully capitalize. But again, with this game, do have a little bit of a feeling that it's going to be a little bit different, although it is a cup game. It is against someone from the league, so could see someone going out there and being a high-scoring match. Noko only plays away games, so I can't necessarily just say they're stronger away than they are at home. But
right now, they definitely are.
It'll be interesting to see once the whole stadium gets finished up here. I'll have to go ahead and make the drive. It's only about an hour and 15 from me. I'm more south. Nick, you're probably like 20 most. I don't know.
24-ish.
Yeah.
It's lights, man.
It'll be exciting, but I do want to hopefully, if we are going to go ahead and bring those goals, Lachlan McLean, from the one game that I went ahead and saw, Northern Colorado, just the way that he's able to go ahead and run off the shoulders, break lines. He has that little bit of that special in that attacking sense that could make the difference. And don't know much about you guys' center back partnership. I know it's not Tamori and Kalulu, so it's not that good. So hopefully we can go ahead and no, I'm just messing here. It'll be exciting because we only managed to go ahead and score one goal and concede a lot against these USL 1 teams. And I know, Ben, you mentioned you have some new attackers coming into your team. All new. So I guess it kind of gives an unorthodox balance where it's new and then we have this like it's cup.
Yeah. And Ben
Making
alluded
rhymes.
to it. I mean, there has, with that roster turnover, there have been some concerns about Union Omaha's consistency and reliability in scoring goals.
Although we're now 7 games in.
Yes.
We've scored in all of them except one. And turns out Tormenta's defense is good.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that?
Unbelievably unexpected.
Yeah.
Oh, you did, Chip? You were all over that?
I had them 6th in the league in my preseason pod.
Wow.
But I mean that concern still remains. I mean, there have been some very, very noteworthy goals, scored this season. But there have been concerns about that consistency and that reliability. So if you match up these two clubs, it makes for a very exciting occasion on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to go and watch the game, have some friends coming in. I know Ben has some friends from the neighborhood coming in.
A plan.
Sure, Rich is driving in from Lincoln, but it should be.
Yep.
I think that stadium holds 3K. If we filled that, I'd be pretty happy with that.
I got some people coming from Kansas City for some Hailstorm. So maybe some people.
Traitors.
The switchbacks. Go ahead, Nick.
I was like, they're from Northern Colorado. There's work.
I was going to say, I went to the switchbacks. That was my first time in their venue, and it was remarkably it was awesome. They had the seats going down towards the pitch, and they have this new structure that they've been working on, hanging out on the outside that you kind of take this ramp up to your seats. Overall, it was a lot bigger and felt really good. It wasn't,
It's a beautiful looking facility.
Yeah.
other than the wind, you get really nice views of the Colorado mountains and some of Colorado Springs. I thought they placed it in a nice location. It was pretty crowded and wasn't too expensive. Their gift shop, some nice fries. Ask Nick, I was munching on those fries. But
It's
so
not
I'm
too far
excited
of a
to see
drive.
what Noco had. Yeah, it wasn't too far either. And I want to go ahead and cover one last topic here from the previous round, guys. I know that for us, beating an MLS team, it was surreal feeling because we are a very new organization. So just coming out, being one of the new kids on the block and having this achievement feels, as I said, super. Don't know much about the history here of Union Omaha.
You
In
also
terms-
don't know much biology. Anyway, just kidding. That's mostly for Rich.
There you go. Yep, I got it.
Rich isn't that old.
No, I just wanted to know what it felt like. Is this the first time Union Omaha has beaten an MLS team?
In
Yeah.
competitive play, yes.
Yeah. With the caveat there, yeah.
Well, and I will say that NOCO has the blessing of the kick a ball first reverse curse.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know
So,
what that is. Fill me in.
so for some of the
I was
newer,
beefing.
yeah, Nick was there for that. Nick experienced that firsthand. But when Union Omaha was starting, Omaha fans were very excited about getting a pro team here in Omaha and everything we're going to do. And our friends up north told us maybe just wait till you kick a ball first. Like,
It wasn't that polite, but
No,
yeah.
it was.
No, I wasn't.
I tried to get. Essentially, it was fuck off. You haven't kicked the ball. Like, don't talk to us. Like, you guys are going to be
Yeah,
last.
look
in
at
the
this season we just had. We squeaked into the playoffs and laid an egg there. Come
Yeah,
on, look at
you
us.
guys. You
We
guys.
invented soccer.
You ain't shit. We invented supporter culture in the United States. Fuck off. Regardless, I think they've. Well, they haven't backpedaled that comment yet, but they should because we've come in and just run a rough shot over the league. But NOCO has also received that curse from the same people who should have learned their lesson, but did not. And so I believe you guys were getting real in your plums and talking, and they said, well, just wait till you play a game first, guys. Wait till you play, and then we'll see what happens. And it's like, you think you would have learned. Maybe just, keep that commentary to yourself.
And I got it into it
Nope,
with that
the gates
mascot.
The gates
Yeah.
must be kept staffed and
Bolt.
manned at all times.
The gates are always manned and the goalposts are always moved. So, kind of on that comment, for those of you who maybe don't know what we're talking about the pink team up north, Madison. And I know, like, when we came into the league, we were very excited about, like, oh, well, we can, like, have a fun rivalry. We can do some stuff. And we were kind of rebuffed. So I know, like, with NOCO specifically, I'm kind of excited to kind of rewrite that narrative on, we can have that conversation early and we can do stuff. And we don't need you guys to, like, prove yourself to us because you guys are all pretty cool. Like, do you think NOCO and Omaha has what it takes to become a rivalry in this league, a top rivalry in this league?
I'm not sure if we'll beef like that, but I think
they can be
Not
fun. Like,
necessary.
Greenville's
Not
fun.
necessary.
Like,
I think
Greenville
we'll-
might be that exhausting.
Greenville and Omaha is a fun one. Like, we're
I think it'll be
rivals, but it's fun.
competitively fun. I think we'll banter for 90, then we'll be chill online.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I probably won't be chill with Chattanooga fans because that seems like that's already something brewing up over here. If you guys saw the end of that game,
Yeah, everyone has beef with Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Literally
there was a whole thing with Kevin Sawchuk because he went from Chattanooga to NOCO, the assistant coach, and the handshake after led to the coaches being separated. And
well, Eamon did too.
Yeah, and Eamon mentioned something, and then you could
Well,
just
and
you could see the F word just spewing out the Chattanooga coach's mouth. It was, I was loving it personally.
For someone who recently became a grandfather, it doesn't seem like a lot of people like him.
There
Yeah,
were
like,
Blaine, I think you're talking about yourself, and it's like, wait, what?
there were 10 yellow
Yeah,
cards in that game, and 7 of them were against Chattanooga.
yeah, that sounds about right. I like. Here's the thing. Here's all you need to know is Jimmy Obleda's like never won a coaching award in this league, even though he's been one of the best coaches in terms of results on the field. And I think that's I think that says something.
Yeah, they got the best of us that day, but June 30th, I'm there. I'm getting drunk. They won't hear the last of me.
Good.
Chip, to go back to your point, I'm going to be honest. I think if Hailstorm just beats Omaha, I don't think there's going to be any long-term possibility of a rivalry or anything going there. I think it's just going to be looked at. I might be wrong, guys.
No.
It might just be looked at as another team that we were able to go ahead and beat in the cup in this hopefully historic run that they do. And if it just happens to be, another USL League One team, just happened to be Union Omaha in this chapter. Now, if
no Chicago Fire fans remember who they beat in their first year is what you're saying?
nothing, no, it's nothing like that. I feel like now if they lose, now exiting the cup to another team in the league, that could go ahead and certainly start something. I feel like just whatever happened in the beginning of the season against Switchbacks, I feel like that's really where that rivalry is going to go. North Colorado against South Colorado, although there's, they're different leagues. I feel like that rivalry is a little bit there in the matches. Maybe it's preseason. It's kind of like CSU, CU for you guys who don't know. They're not in the same league, but they play once a year. Got the privilege of watching that happen. So it kind of will be like that. It could be like that maybe during the league games as well. If we go ahead and play you guys continuously and it's back and forth, it could go ahead and develop in a competition rivalry. But in terms of, I think what happens here this week, I don't think people are going to wake up in Denver and start hating on Omahans. People from Omaha.
Not any more than they already do.
Omahanites.
Omahanites.
I think, Jay on Thursday was like, this could be the start of a great rivalry. And I don't think I think, one, there's not a lot of day trips in the league, right? We talk about this. We've talked about this a lot as supporters in Omaha, and so we're always excited when a team comes in that's drivable. That doesn't involve an overnight drive or something like that. And so, I think there's a lot of excitement. And then our first match together having such big stakes, I think that really lends itself to, the emotions getting riled up.
Yeah, plus we play in 17 days. So I think it could, or 17 days after that match. So I think it could have a lot of implications on how the next match is going to go. And I feel like whoever loses is going to come out on fire and could get a little chippy depending on how it goes. Because these dudes are going to play no matter what. I don't think they give a shit who they're going up against. So they're going to come out.
I think they care a little bit, but not in the cup.
Yeah. Not in the cup.
Well, that rivalry you guys were talking about with the Switchbacks, I mean, you guys better get used to that because with the regional pods that US Open Cup keeps having in their draws, you're going to be playing them quite often. I mean, it's kind of like Union Omaha. They're going to be facing Des Moines pretty often, I think, in the future. And I think, Chip, you and I were talking about this during the trip to Chicago. I mean, when both of those teams, fingers crossed, both make their way up to the championship, I mean, that's going to be an I-80 rivalry right there. They're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Well, the interesting thing again about Omaha Des Moines is right now it's a pro team versus a semi-pro team.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden in 24 is when they're supposed to start. It'll be a championship club versus a League One team, and then all of a sudden the shoe kind of is on the other foot. So it'll be interesting because this year they're all like, oh man, we're in Omaha. This is so cool. Like playing Omaha at Morrison. And, here in a couple of years, it's like, why are we playing at Morrison? We want to play at our 10,000 seater in downtown Des Moines, have a big crowd, whatever. But
yeah, wow. That is.
And as far as Wednesday, playing over at Caniglia at UNO, I really, really, truly hope that no Union Omaha fans say, in the event that the Hailstorm win, I hope none of them say, well, you didn't play us on Warner Park.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to say it. I'm absolutely going to say it. I'm just telling you all right now. If we lose,
end of May,
the first thing out of my mouth is we should have been playing at Warner Park. Why didn't we play at Warner Park?
The Hailstorm come to Warner Park and they'll play on that field. So, I mean, it'll be another test right there. I mean, these two teams are going to play within just weeks of each other.
Yeah.
When is the second one? You guys have a date on that?
Yeah,
it's-
28th of May,
Yeah,
I have a-
Saturday of Memorial Day weekend.
I have a
Nick, are
date
you
with
in
the
town?
Champions League that day.
I see.
My
Can't
boys are in the
relate.
final.
Well, we have a large Liverpool supporters group in Omaha that you
Yep.
could have a grand old time with.
Ooh, that might be worth it actually.
They'll have. I think they're planning on almost 300 people there that day.
Wow.
Yeah, Nick, you got to come in.
I should actually. What are you doing the 28th, Rico?
We'll be watching the Champions League final, most likely with you. I have
In
to
Omaha.
obviously cover it
Bring it.
for Linners and Losers. I have been thinking, guys, I am capable of doing a live watch along, but it's something that could, be thrown out. It'll be a first time thing. But if not, got my couch right there at the TV. Definitely go ahead and watch that. It should be a good one. Real Madrid, Liverpool. This is the rematch Nick's been waiting for a while, since in college, not too long ago. I can't keep straying away from this, guys. I've been trying to avoid not talking about it, but Ben, you and I, it's showing in the back. They are also in the U.S. Open Cup game.
Oh,
We haven't mentioned them, but
I
guys,
know.
the Colorado Rapids against Minnesota. They're not doing so hot.
Have you guys ever seen a Rapids U.S. Open Cup game?
I have not. I did get
I was
the
a
chance
season
to
ticket
go.
holder for 6 years. I've looked this up.
Uh-huh.
They hosted the first year I was a season ticket holder. I didn't know about it, and they hosted 0 out of 5 remaining years.
Oh my god. The Rapids are known for just getting beaten like a first round or upset by a smaller
It's not
team.
even really like an upset.
Yeah, I know. Expected.
Yeah, but I do hope they beat Minnesota because I don't care for Minnesota as much as I care for the Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. They've had a pretty rough few patches the past few games. They're going up and down, but
Yeah, like 1 minute they're like the second best team in the league, and then the next minute they're losing to, struggling to beat Charlotte. I forget what happened in that game, but
I know
It's
that
been
there was a lot of chat about maybe the Rapids and NoCo Hailstorm FC seeing each other. Would have been an interesting one. Again, us up against a
Small club.
probably a more winnable game, honestly.
you think so? Oh,
I promise you that our team is going to take it more seriously than theirs would have.
without a doubt, I think the Rapids probably would play a slower lineup, and
Uh-huh.
I can't just picture
Might
like
not have
players
seen
like Clint Irwin in goal anymore. I don't know why he's still there, but that's a different topic.
Clint Irwin was in, backup goalkeeper while I was still in Colorado, and I moved in 2012.
They got that the CONCACAF Champions League match. I was able to go ahead and watch, and it was snowing like absolute madness.
Yeah.
They went into penalties, and they honestly, I thought the Rapids in cup matches just didn't have it because it was going to be a big cup match, but they are able to match the energy. And if
I
they
watched
take this
that game. It was so impressive, and then oh my gosh, they choked it away in penalties.
unbelievable. Some of the penalty saves are pretty great. And go ahead, Chip.
I was gonna say, I think let's get to picks. I think we're all gonna pick for our own team. Is that fair?
No.
No. Well, I was gonna say let's do regular time, extra time PKs, and pick one of those for how the game's gonna end.
Okay.
Just because I think the 2 NoCo guys are gonna pick NoCo, and the 3 Omaha guys are gonna pick Omaha. So not really much point in picking. So let's try to say how we think it's gonna end. Let's start with you, Rico, up top, and then let's move our way.
No, to me, it's got to be 2-2 after 90 minutes. It'll be very intense 90 minutes. Think gas legs in extra time, and then just PKs from there. It'll just whoever takes it. I want to be more confident towards NoCo because they're a local team, but you can't decide off PKs. I mean, so I do think that it's just going to be a high scoring game. 2-2 after 90 minutes for sure. I think both teams' offense is going to explode and be better than the defense.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have 2-2 as well. 3-2 NoCo and Pens, because I will say we're gonna win in Pens.
I think 2-2 regular time, 3-2 Omaha extra time.
In extra time, they score?
Yeah.
See, I got the tired legs, man. I think everyone's just going to be too gassed.
Nah, man, we got waves and waves of fresh attackers off. The
We
bench.
had the weekend off too.
Yeah.
I'll go. Yeah, if we're saying after 90 minutes, I'll say 2-2 at 90, and then I'll say Union Omaha scores in extra time, like Ben.
Yeah.
This is because of the substitution, guys.
Look out!
Yep.
Look out for Hugo Kamatani.
I know.
Well, I was gonna say PKs to be contrarian, but everyone else said PKs in extra time. So I'll say 2-1 regular time Union Omaha.
All right.
And we'll see you guys there
No.
In spirit,
Gotta-
we will.
in
Yeah.
spirit. Fair enough.
Spirit.
Hey, random
You'll see
information.
us there on the TV.
We will.
I have a bit of piece of random information for you guys. There's a player on your team who actually has played soccer in the Omaha area. Leo Falla. He played for Iowa Western Community College.
Wow.
What does that mean?
Hey, deep research.
Made his
Yeah,
way to
he-
Windsor.
He played 4 matches with the college before moving on to his next college.
So I have another fun connection, not to Omaha. Cornwall worked at the pub in northern Dublin that I went to every night when I was in Dublin.
Wow.
Wow,
He seems like a
that's cool.
bartender.
The Celts. And when they signed him, my buddy over there is like, "Is this your league in Omaha?" And I was like, "Yes, that is. How did you know about this?" And they're like, "This is my mate, 'cause he worked for Bohems up there." And so in the Irish league, most of those guys have another job besides just playing soccer. So I guess he was like a bar back or something there, or bouncer or whatever. But yeah, it should be a fun game, and I'm looking forward to it. If you are in the Omaha area, I'm meeting up with some of the NOCO people at the Casual Pint before the game on 86 and Pacific. So feel free to join if you want.
So far away. Yeah, I'll be at my house. Let me know if you want to come over for dinner.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Ben. So far away. Can you make it closer? But guys, it's been really special. Really enjoyed having this discussion here. As Chip said, it is going to be a very exciting match. This could be the start of a great rivalry in the future. Although today it was a very fun chatting podcast, guys. Any closing remarks here as we wrap it up? I just want to go ahead and say thank you on behalf of Linners and Boozers. It's always a privilege and amazing time to have awesome guests here, although it is from a rival team, I guess, coming up in this match. It's great. It's great. And yeah, any closing thoughts? Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Chip. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
Always
chatting with you
happy.
guys.
I'm happy to have some fellow Rapids fans in the league because I may be the only one until you guys entered. So I'm pleased about that. Welcome. We're really glad to have you here.
Yeah, Viva Buos.
Viva Buos.